Hi, I'm Amaris. I never thought I'd be the kind of person who'd need to set up surveillance in my own home, but my mother's intuition changed everything. Honey, something's not right with Jay, Mom said during our weekly coffee meetup. She stirred her latte slowly, eyes fixed on mine with that look that always meant she knew something I didn't. I laughed it off. Mom, you've never liked any of my boyfriends. What's wrong with Jay now? He's been nothing but perfect for the past year. Perfect men don't exist, Amaris. And the ones who seem perfect? They're usually hiding something bigger than the rest. She reached across the table and squeezed my hand. Put a hidden camera in the living room and leave for a day. That's all I'm saying. That's crazy. I'm not spying on my fiancé. Mom shrugged, the silver bangles on her wrist jingling softly. Then humor your paranoid mother. Do it once. Prove me wrong. And I'll never question him again. Fine, I sighed, more to end the conversation than anything else. Where would I even get a hidden camera? Already ordered one. It's in my car. She smiled at my shocked expression. What? I told you I had a feeling. 2 days later, I installed the tiny device inside our bookshelf, angled toward the living room and front door. I told Jay I was spending the day with Elena for her birthday shopping spree. Have fun, babe, he said, kissing me goodbye. I'll just be working on the Henderson proposal all day. Boring stuff. Elena nearly spat out her coffee when I told her why we were really having a day out. Your mom is either completely nuts or scarily intuitive, she said, wiping her mouth. What do you think you'll find? Nothing. That's the point. Then Mom can finally stop with her suspicions. And if you do find something? Elena asked carefully. I stirred my drink uncomfortably. Then I guess I'll deal with it, but I won't. We spent the day shopping, but my mind kept wandering back to that camera. By evening, I couldn't wait any longer. I need to check it, I told Elena as we sat in her car outside my apartment building. Want me to come up? No, I should do this alone. It's going to be nothing anyway. Call me immediately after, okay? No matter what. I nodded and headed upstairs. The apartment was empty. Jay had texted earlier that he was grabbing drinks with colleagues. Perfect timing to remove the camera before he noticed. I retrieved the device, hands shaking slightly as I connected it to my laptop. The footage began to play, showing our empty living room. I fast-forwarded through hours of nothing until Jay appeared on screen around noon. He paced, checked his watch, then made a call. Hey, she's gone all day. Yeah, come over now. 30 minutes later, the doorbell rang on the footage. Jay opened it to reveal a woman I'd never seen before. Tall, blonde, gorgeous. Missed me? She purred, wrapping her arms around his neck. Always, he replied before kissing her deeply. What happened next chilled me to the bone, not just because of their obvious intimacy on my couch, but because of their conversation afterward. When are you going to leave her? The woman asked, tracing patterns on Jay's chest. Soon, after the wedding. Her family has money, Vanessa. Once we're married, I'll have access to her trust fund. Then we can be together properly with everything we need to start over. And she suspects nothing? Jay laughed. Amaris? She's completely clueless. Thinks I'm her perfect man. My phone buzzed with a text from Elena. Everything okay? I couldn't breathe as I typed back. Come up, now. Elena's gasp echoed through my apartment as she watched the footage. That lying, scheming, gold-digging bastard. I'll kill him myself. No, you won't, I said, surprising myself with how calm I sounded. We need to be smart about this. Smart? Amaris, he's planning to marry you for your money. That trust fund is your future. Your grandmother left it for you, not some cheating scumbag. I paced the room, mind racing. There's more to this. He mentioned starting over. What does that mean? Let's find out, Elena said, pulling out her phone. I'm calling Marcus. Jay's friend? He won't tell us anything. Leave that to me. She put the phone on speaker. Elena, what's up? Marcus answered, sounding confused. Hey, Marcus, quick question. How long has Jay been seeing Vanessa? A long pause. I don't know what you're talking about. Cut the crap, Marcus, Elena snapped. We have proof, video evidence. I'm just trying to figure out if you're part of this scam too. Scam? What scam? His voice raised an octave. Look, Jay and Vanessa dated years ago in college. If they're seeing each other again, that's news to me. I leaned toward the phone. Marcus, it's Amaris. We overheard Jay talking about my trust fund and starting over with Vanessa after we're married. Do you know anything about that? Another long pause. I swear I don't. But there's something you should know. Jay had some gambling problems back in college. That's why he and Vanessa broke up originally. He borrowed money from her father and never paid it back. They were pretty serious until then. And now? Elena pressed. I honestly don't know. We don't talk like we used to. But Amaris, if he's after your money, you need to be careful. When Jay gets desperate about money, he can get unpredictable. After hanging up, Elena and I sat in stunned silence before she spoke. We need to talk to his ex before Vanessa. Cassidy? They dated for like 3 months last year before we met. Exactly. Let's see if there's a pattern. Cassidy agreed to meet us at a cafe the next morning. She seemed nervous, fidgeting with her coffee cup. I'm not surprised, she finally said after we explained. Jay was charming at first, then started asking for loans. When I refused, he got angry, said some threatening things. Threatening how? I asked, feeling sick. He said he had compromising photos of me, said if I didn't help him with money, they might accidentally get sent to my boss. She looked down. I paid him once, then broke it off and blocked him everywhere. I was too embarrassed to report it. Elena's eyes widened. That's blackmail. You're not the first, Cassidy continued. There was another woman before me, Diane something, same pattern. He targets women with money or good jobs. Back at my apartment, Elena paced furiously. We need to go to the police. With what? A video of him cheating and talking about a trust fund? That's not illegal, I said. But blackmail is. And if he's done this before? I nodded slowly. We need to find Diane. Through social media, we located Diane Peters, who reluctantly agreed to talk by phone. Her story matched Cassidy's. Charming relationship, followed by financial manipulation and threats. Did you pay him? I asked. Yes, almost $15,000 over 3 months. When I couldn't pay more, he vanished. Did you report it? No, the photos. I was too embarrassed, but I still have the payment records and some threatening texts. I've kept everything, just in case. After the call, Elena looked at me intently. There's our pattern, and you have something they didn't. What's that? Advance warning, and me. She squeezed my hand. So what's the plan? I took a deep breath. First, we gather everything, then we confront him, with backup. 3 days later, everything was in place. Jay had no idea what was coming when he strolled into our apartment after work. Hey, babe, he called, dropping his keys on the counter. Something smells good. He froze when he saw Elena, Marcus, and Detective Rivera sitting in our living room. What's going on? He asked, eyes darting between us. I stood slowly. Why don't you tell me about Vanessa, Jay? His face paled, then quickly recovered. Who? Really? That's your play? I turned my laptop toward him, showing a freeze frame of him and Vanessa kissing in our living room. The woman you brought into our home 3 days ago. You were spying on me? His voice rose indignantly. That's illegal! Not in my own home it isn't, I replied calmly. But you know what is illegal? Blackmail, fraud, planning to marry someone to gain access to their finances under false pretenses. He scoffed, though I noticed sweat beading on his forehead. This is ridiculous. So I made a mistake with another woman. People cheat, Amaris. It doesn't make me a criminal. No, but this does. I nodded to Detective Rivera, who placed several documents on the coffee table. Mr. Jason Harlow, she began formally, I've been investigating a pattern of financial fraud and blackmail targeting women in this area. Your name has come up repeatedly. This is absurd, Jay shouted, backing toward the door. Whatever they told you is lies. Marcus stood up. It's over, Jay. I've given them everything. The gambling debts, how you bragged about the blackmail scheme, the fake identity you used with Diane. You backstabbing son of a... Jay lunged toward Marcus, but Detective Rivera stepped between them. Mr. Harlow, I strongly suggest you don't add assault to your growing list of problems. Jay's tactics shifted instantly. His shoulders slumped, eyes softening as he turned to me. Amaris, baby, please. This is all a huge misunderstanding. I love you, you know that. Whatever mistakes I've made, we can work through them together. Like you worked through taking $15,000 from Diane? I asked coldly. That was different. I was desperate then. You and me. We're real. Everything I said about loving you is true. Including the part where I'm completely clueless? Or how you plan to take my trust fund after we married? I didn't mean that. It was just talk to keep Vanessa happy. She means nothing to me. Elena snorted disgustedly. You said the same thing about Amaris to Vanessa. We have it on video. Jay's expression darkened. You think you're so clever? You have no idea who you're dealing with. I have friends who can make your life very difficult, Amaris. Very difficult indeed. Detective Rivera stepped forward. And that, Mr. Harlow, sounds remarkably like a threat. Would you care to rephrase? This isn't over, he hissed, reaching for the door. None of you know what I'm capable of. Actually, I said quietly, that's exactly why we're all here. 6 months later, I sat across from Detective Rivera in the courthouse hallway, waiting for the sentencing hearing to begin. Nervous? She asked kindly. A little, I admitted. This will be the first time I've seen him since that night. Elena squeezed my hand. You've got this. He can't hurt you anymore. The doors opened and we filed into the courtroom. When Jay was brought in, he looked smaller somehow, his confident swagger replaced by a defeated shuffle. His eyes locked with mine immediately, pleading silently. The judge entered and we all rose. The proceedings moved quickly. The evidence against Jay was overwhelming once Detective Rivera had connected all the cases. 3 counts of blackmail, 2 of fraud, 1 of criminal threats. The testimony from Diane, Cassidy, and 4 other women had sealed his fate. Sentenced to 5 years in state prison, the judge concluded. As Jay was led away, he called out desperately, Amaris, please, can I just talk to you for 1 minute? I hesitated, then nodded to the bailiff. You have 30 seconds, the officer said gruffly. Jay's eyes were red-rimmed. I'm sorry. I know that doesn't fix anything, but I am truly sorry. I never meant to hurt you specifically. You were different, special. If you could find it in your heart to forgive me, maybe write to me sometimes. I have no one else. I looked at him for a long moment, remembering how I'd once believed every word he said. You're right, Jay. Sorry doesn't fix anything. Not the sleepless nights, not the trust issues I'll carry for years, not the pain you caused to all those women. And no, I won't write to you. I won't visit. After today, you'll never see me again. Please, Amaris. Your 30 seconds are up, I said, turning away. Outside the courthouse, Elena, Marcus, and my mother waited in the sunshine. How do you feel? Mom asked, embracing me. Lighter, I replied honestly. Like I can finally move forward. I'm so proud of you, she said. Not just for standing up to him, but for helping those other women get justice too. Marcus shuffled awkwardly. I'm still sorry I didn't see what was happening sooner. Some friend I was. You came through when it mattered, I assured him. Detective Rivera joined us, tucking a file into her bag. The DA wanted me to thank you all again. Cases like this often go unreported because victims feel too ashamed or scared to come forward. What you did created a ripple effect. 2 more women have come forward about similar schemes since Jay's arrest. So what now? Elena asked as we walked down the courthouse steps. I took a deep breath of fresh air. Now? I think I'll finally take that photography course I've been putting off. Maybe travel a bit, definitely get a new apartment. And dating? Mom couldn't help asking. I laughed. Eventually. But next time, I'm installing that camera on day 1. We all chuckled, and for the first time in months, the laughter didn't feel forced. You know what I keep thinking about? I said as we reached the street. What if I hadn't listened to you that day, Mom? What if I dismissed your intuition as paranoia? She smiled knowingly. But you did listen. That's what matters. Later that evening, as Elena helped me pack up the last of Jay's things for donation, she asked the question I'd been asking myself for months. Do you think you'll ever be able to trust someone completely again? I considered this carefully. I don't know, but I hope so. And in the meantime, I've learned to trust myself and my mother's intuition. To mothers and hidden cameras, Elena toasted with her coffee mug. And to fresh starts, I added, clinking my mug against hers. Have you ever had a gut feeling about someone that turned out to be right? Or wished you had a hidden camera to confirm your suspicions? Share your story in the comments below.